offensive lineman Ben Risenhoover. Floor is open for questions.
Last week, both the tackles missing in action for various injuries or whatever. Does that put more pressure on the inside of the guard with you?
No, I don't think it puts pressure. Both guys, Jeremy Burton and Frank Sutton, came in and played really well. Playing next to Frank, redshirt freshman, I pulled him over on the sidelines. I said, "It's your time." And he was like, "I'm ready." And I didn't see any fear in his eye, and so I knew from right then that he was going to come out and play really well, and he did.
Coach touched on Sunday's practice that it was light, but just what was the mindset of the team like after Saturday night, just wanting to get back out there and flush it out and focus on the next game?
Yeah, we a lot of times on the bus, after a win, the energy's high. After a loss, we all kind of talk like, this hurts tonight, but tomorrow we got to go out there, get better on the practice field, watch the film, learn from it, and focus on the next week.
Coach talked a little bit about those frustrations offensively, and obviously it happens with you guys up front. Is there some of that among the 5 or 7 of you guys?
Yeah, it's frustrating. But one thing that's not going to help you out in the middle of the game is being frustrated on the sidelines. We kind of learned that at Troy when we were playing Troy this year. I just kind of looked at everyone. I said, us being frustrated isn't going to help us win this ball game, and we all kind of settled down and said, let's just go do what we can do. And we, had the game-winning drive. But it is frustrating at times, but we can't let that get to us, and we've got to keep getting better to establish the run game. From the spring that we had and the fall camp that we had, we were really successful at the run, and so we have to get back to that point, that mentality as an offensive line of pounding the rock.
Coach talked about trying to establish this post-Colton Browning offense. Being on the line and everything starting up front, how do y'all have to adjust with having somebody else back there instead of 4 years looking back and seeing Colton?
Right, yeah. It's different. With Colton, you knew that, okay, if this guy beats me outside, I know I can rush him up the field, and Colton's feet are going to allow him to escape and run around, and you could kind of get away with more things. This year, we really are working on with the interior of keeping the protection at the line of scrimmage, give Pete the opportunity to stay in the pocket, and not have someone in his face where he can step into a throw. That's where we've got to get better at, because Pete's a great quarterback, and just the difference between those two, that's the toughest part, just trying to change our old ways to go with Pete and keep him protected.
The difference there, blocking for quarterbacks, a lot of running backs there behind you as well have changed. Do you notice any difference when you have to block one way or another for them?
No, I think Centarius and Tyler both, they'll come up to us and they'll be like, hey, on this play we're going to do this, you do this, and they're going to hit the hole hard. And that's what we like. As an offensive lineman, there's nothing more frustrating than the back that doesn't want to hit a hole. And the backs that are here, they'll put their nose in there and just give them a little crease and they want to hit it. So it's really nice blocking for two guys like that. And like this week with Centarius out, Kalen Watson and Nate Metters coming in, they're the same way. They're not afraid of contact. And so we just really got to stress with them this week of how we want to get the ball running again, that they need to have the same mentality.
You had 2 weeks of kind of not really being able to establish the run in this past week of just not really having on the offensive yards until the fourth quarter. Looking back at film, and I know that Kentucky's probably looking at what Arkansas State and Troy did. What are some things that you see from their defenses that kind of prompt some adjustments on y'all's end?
From Kentucky's?
No, from looking at the Troy.
Oh, the Troy and Arkansas State game. No, it's okay. The film was one of those things where everyone had their snaps of good and everyone had their snaps of bad, and it was kind of everyone kind of took their turns. And on offense, that's something that can't happen. All 11 guys have to be executing the play the correct way, or it's just not going to work out. And so going back and watching the film, that's the frustrating part about it. But that's one of the things we have to learn from. It's like Coach Barry said on Sunday, that we got to go in this week and watch the film and be somewhat happy about the plays that we made from getting better, but then get upset with the plays that you didn't make and figure out how to make them.